Yeah, exactly.
I know. Okay, here we are. It is another week and another episode of Chiropractic Is Sexy. I'm Dr. Paula Ruffin.
I'm Dr. Erica Peabody, and we made it.
We
Dr. Paula's
totally
like, we made it.
I know. We're talking
Anybody
about
else?
holiday stress. Talk about stress, right?
Anyone else thinking that, feeling that?
I know, right? Yes. So thank you for your patience. But it's all good. Hey, people need us because this is the stressful time of year. So it is important that we show up and we take care of our people. And then we come here and we talk about it. And then we heal our own bodies for exactly what we're going to talk to you guys about today. So welcome in, everybody. Please, we appreciate you being here, and make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and you're sharing, and leave a nice comment, because YouTube loves, or wherever you're coming in from, YouTube, Facebook, we have all the different channels. So they love all of your comments. So
yeah. So keep
with
talking.
That, did I say I'm Dr. Paula Ruffin? Did you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
I was just wondering, I mean, you guys are always on here with us, and some new people each week. And if you have any specific questions, always feel free to reach out. We don't always say that. We know it's just kind of understood, but always feel free to reach out. I was just listening to kind of start, with the holiday season, and we have definitely a show topic to talk about, but was just thinking about and listening to a couple just different coaches, mindset coaches in particular. And they're talking about when we get to January 1st, it always feels like a reset, a fresh slate, a blah, 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 a this and that. What if it didn't have to? Like, all we do is go to sleep one day and wake up the next day. Nothing magical happens except for if you have a magical New Year's Eve. But I want you to consider, since it's the 11th of December, getting a bunch of momentum going now. And that's partially what we're going to talk about today, is making sure that you're not destroying your system, but also getting a lot of momentum. There's a lot of patients they want to end the year really strong. So they're even going from like one visit a week up, because they're like, oh man, I could really get the ball rolling. And it's really great. It keeps it super busy around here, keeps us having a lot of fun, and helping people with their health. So I'm sure you're probably seeing the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I used this analogy maybe last year, but definitely in another podcast, where we talk about getting the momentum. And so imagine you are standing at the starting line. So on January 1st, there's a starting line, and all the people are standing there waiting to get started in their new year and on their new health regimen, because they have just spent the past 3 months just destroying themselves. So these people are standing here waiting for the gun to go off to start in the new year. But what if you were the person that you were in motion and you hadn't been taking these last 3 months to just completely destroy yourself? You had been taking the time to take care of your nervous system, your movement, your food, your mindset, your sleep, and you are in a running start. And now when that gun goes off,
love it.
You're crossing, and you are in motion. Yes, you're in motion. So yeah. I love that. Get the momentum going, and don't wait until it's never too late to start. And there will always not be the right time.
Right.
You hear those excuses. They're like, well, I've got this, and I have a birthday party, and Thanksgiving, and I have this, and I'm traveling, and I'm going on a cruise. And you guys, I've been on vacation. Dr. Erica's been on vacation. We don't completely destroy our health when we go on vacation. In fact, I am a little bit more aware of my behaviors on vacation, because I know how being on vacation can just completely derail you.
Right.
So I would challenge all of you to just be a little bit more mindful about, what are you doing in these challenging moments? Are you able to stay above board with yourself?
Well, when we talk about vacation, have you ever heard the phrase, I need a vacation from my vacation?
Yes.
I mean, that's like so super legitimate to say, because people do go out and destroy. So I'm encouraging you. And I mean, I take the week between Christmas and New Year's off and go to the sun and to the sea. And Dr. Paula and I are always connected, and she will literally say, like, "Are you only walking? Like, what are you doing?" Every time you're talking multiple times a day, you're walking, and I will get upwards of 80 miles in just, a 6-day time frame. So just
She's like
because,
Forrest Gump on her
yeah,
vacation.
yeah, exactly. But the other thing I was thinking, that visual of you're like rounding the corner to the start line, and the other people, their feet are stuck in blocks. Like they're stuck at the blocks, they're at the ready and they're at the set, but the go, like you've already got a lot of movement for the go. Um, and there was this podcast I was listening to yesterday. I actually sent it over, where it was saying, let's not look at the end of the year as the end of the year. Like it's just the end of another 30 days. If on average the months are 30 days, like we don't start from square one. We don't finish anything in particular. We just finish a circle around the calendar. But if we just take our life 30 days at a time without like, oh, I failed that year. Like, what am I going to do next? Or, oh, you know what I mean? Or I can't wait for the fresh start. Let's just take it like, instead of a 12-month year, take it 30 days at a time, and it never is like the 12 end. You know what I mean? And it was really powerful, especially as an entrepreneur and getting our businesses going and, finishing the year, of course. But it's like, that was just 30 days. And now I get to focus on the next 30 days. So I just really loved that. And I was thinking, as you were talking about starting at the starting line and someone what if you got credit at the gym for every time in December that you went that moved you forward in the parking lot in winter, right? For January. And I know the first day, on the Monday rolling in off the new year, that Monday is like, okay, people. And I have a huge gym and a humongous parking lot. I mean, really, really large parking lot. And I'm like, where were all of you? And get out of my parking spots, because I don't want to walk from literally BFE, not even kidding, because the parking lot's massive. So what if you got credit for every workout, for every gallon of water per day you drank and every workout that you did, and then that moved you forward in the line in the parking lot? But what it really does is move you forward in your resiliency for health for the new year. So
that's so funny. I'm the same way. I'm like, okay, so while I am happy, and I will always say, okay, God bless them for being here.
Yes.
But I usually say that after I've said, get the hell out of my yoga studio, or get the hell out of my gym. You're only going to be here literally, what is it, 14 days now? Like the failure rate of New Year's resolutions used to be by the 21st of the month. And now I think it's like by the 9th.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would imagine so, yeah.
You have to take it day by day. You have to take it week by week, month by month. And I'm thinking about this too, because we just came off of, I'll say it like this. We just kind of came off of summer. I understand that was 3 months away, but people often derail in summer. It's 3 months of partying and boating and lake life and when it really should be, you should have been dialed in on your exercise and your water, and you can have fun. I'm not saying you can't, but so you have the 3 months of derailing, and then September comes and you're like, okay, I'm going to get it together. And then Halloween's a whole month of October. So really, what did you have? 6 weeks of getting your health together before then we end up in like sugar and stress season. So this whole and I just tell people, I'm like, just start. It's not going to be perfect. So start today and then start again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that you have to look at these decisions from a daily perspective, and then also projecting out. What do you want your health to look like in 10, 20, 30, 40 years? And if you're feeling like crap now, continuing to take these roller coasters of ups and downs with your health is not serving you. It's not going to heal you. And it's only going to continue to worsen your current situation.
Right. Well, I just think about when you take summer off and you really go for it. That's bless you. That's That's 3 months out of the year is a quarter of the year. So then, like Dr. Paula said, you got 6 weeks on, and then we have the month of half a month of or the whole month, really the whole month of October, but at least the last 3 weeks of October, and then we get into Thanksgiving and Christmas. Bless you. And so then that's yet another quarter. And then we get into January, February, March. And because it's slow and cold and dark, then it's like, what are you giving up that quarter, that 3 months to? And then, so what, you have spring, but what, like no, none of these are excuses. And we talked so deeply about food choices last week. And it was like, not in moderation, like your work days of workout, not in moderation. Maybe the workout in moderation, but not the amount of days doesn't go in moderation. It goes every single day. If you have an Olympic athlete, they're training multiple hours every single day, sometimes 4 to 5 or even more, and they don't have a day off. They scale it, they'll scale back, but there's no days off of your health either, and definitely not weeks off, and definitely not months and quarters. And otherwise, we always have an excuse.
And it becomes,
Yes.
you continue to give yourself permission to have those excuses.
Yeah.
And there's that, that voice in your head that is like giving you permission to just be unhealthy when we know you want better for yourself.
Right.
And also, I also want to recognize people who are watching this, or if you know people who aren't watching this, who are saying, I just don't know what to do, and I don't know where to start. Please share this with them, because we don't necessarily want to criticize people. Well, we are judgy occasionally. So, but we don't want to criticize you if you don't know what you're doing. If you literally for real are like, I'm just not sure. I don't know how I got into this, and I don't know how to get out of it. That's why we are here. And as chiropractors, like, go find yourself a chiropractor who can have these conversations with you, whether it's locally or, I know I work virtually. I know Dr. Erica may or may not. I don't know if you would.
Yeah, I mean, I'm answering questions from all over the place all
Right.
the time, and I'm happy to help in that way. Obviously, we can't adjust virtually, right? We don't do that, nor claim to do that. But we do help people with health all over the globe all the time. And so, yeah, and here's the thing, it is as simple. And I was talking, and I can't remember who I was talking to, but I'm like, just pick something really simple. It doesn't have to be, it was a patient this morning, new patient. She came back after 12 or 13 years of not being here, which I'm always like, where you been? But she came back, and she's had a bunch of heart issues. She's had lots of other things.
We love your audio's a little.
Mine
wacky.
is?
Yeah, there you go. That's better.
So anyway, she was like, I don't even know where to start. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. So if you can't go to the store and you can't walk across the parking lot without paying for it for 3 days, is that me again? What is that?
I don't, yeah.
Actually, it might be Paula that after her sneezing, there was a change.
Oh, okay.
It was? I hear you fine though.
I know. It's got a weird thing. Okay, cool. But what I was telling her is, because she's 80 and she's got so much internal light still, like there's 80-year-olds that you're like, okay, you're headed in a downward way. And then there's 80-year-olds, and she tells me she mows 6 lawns a week in the summertime. She's a farming family. And at 80 years old, she's out there doing that. But she said, when I had to go get x-rays a couple of days ago, and she said I had to walk across the parking lot, and I paid for it for 3 days. Then I'm like, okay, at your home, then get up out of your seat and walk across the house and back, and then across the house and back, and then across the house to wherever you were going that was across the house. When you go to stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, then stand up for the day. If you go to get out of bed, get back in bed, get out of bed, get back in bed, and then get out of bed. Make your bed, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go out in the roads were really, really treacherous yesterday. And I just think about this woman, like, not being able to get out of her home and not going to go out and walk the sidewalks. But what you can do is, if you have stairs at home, go up, down, and then up one more. when you're going up there, and over exaggerate some of the movements inside of your home so that you can start to get, because her cardiovascular health is high priority, but she can't get anywhere because she's in so much pain. So anyway, I was just talking to her about that. Just over exaggerate some of the movements you're doing around your home.
It's such great advice because I think people get stuck into this, oh, I have to go to the gym. Mm-hmm. And I had a patient this morning who she hadn't been in, I don't know, 3 years or so, young girl who is, she runs track. And so two things as far as like the whole injury piece of it. And she tripped and fell on the track, and then her and her mom laughed. And I go, that's an injury. Do you realize that's an injury? And they're like, oh, it is? Because she's young and she just got up and she just kept going. But also I said to her, listen, you're running track and you're going into the gym. And I said, you got to be doing yoga. You have to be doing functional things. And, so, when we're talking about how do we not get burned out, it's like the more functional things you can do, the more you start to realize that you're actually training for life in a day-to-day, in your day-to-day practice. And so really start to think about that. And I think that's just brilliant information, Dr. Erica, that get into your home. And if you're stuck in your home, or I have a patient with Parkinson's, and same thing, like she's not eating well. We're going to be working nutrition, but I said, you just need to do, get up and down out of the chair, and don't plop. Right. A lot of people, they plop. So I think it's just really making sure that we're continuing these functional types of movements for longevity. And then we have to balance that with our nutritional choices. So it's the physical, it's the our food intake, it's our fluid intake, it's our sleep. And boy, sleep gets so under focused.
Yeah.
You could say that, right?
Yeah, it gets passed over. It's the most important. It really is the most important. And it's funny because Dr. Paula and I sometimes will screenshot or we'll keep track of what's going on with our sleep cycles and readiness score. And it's like, oh my God, I got a 90. And so mine looks like this. Sometimes I'll get like a 90, but then the next day I'll get like a mid 70. And then the next day is like 80 and then 90. What my real goal is to string a bunch of those days together somehow. And of course, yesterday I wake up, we don't have power, and we're, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. But what I know is that like this morning, it's telling me I've got all kinds of signals going off that my body's fighting with something, and I don't actually feel that way. So what I'm going to do before my body would succumb to something is going to make sure that, I drink a lot of extra water. I'm already doing my supplements every day. I'm already doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. But then it's like, okay, it said that. Maybe I'll take an extra sauna this week, or, maybe I'll just, maybe watch a movie this evening instead of really going for it and, taking the dogs for a hike or whatever, or something like that. So just kind of scale it around that. And then I'll get adjusted, which Dr. Paula, I just saw her yesterday and she came into the office. So I'm getting adjusted once a week. I just wouldn't miss it unless I absolutely cannot figure out how to make it happen. But fortunately, I'm on the path of 2 other chiropractors too on their life, and they stop in about once a week. So it's great.
Well, and let me talk about a little bit more about the stress piece of the holidays. So I was up in Dr. Erica's neck of the woods yesterday, and I got an amazing adjustment, but it's like an almost hour drive for me home. Right. And it's dark roads. It was dark by the time I left her town. It's dark. It had gotten icy. Driving, I got home, and I meant to text you, is like, I got this incredible adjustment. And about halfway home, I had so much tension in my neck and shoulders because I was like, it wasn't quite a white knuckle drive, but you have to I'm paying attention on dark, backwoods roads anyway, which is always that drive up there. It's not a freeway drive. Right. And so, but then with the sketchiness of the roads and then the oncoming traffic, and it's wet, and I couldn't quite see, when people have their brights on, and I'm like, I can't even see my lane when you have your brights on. And I got home and I was so like it had just undone everything that I had gotten. Like, and I don't think people consider that as stress. You're like, oh, that was stressful, but you don't really consider how deep it gets into your tissues. And I'm still kind of sore today. So, you know, for anybody who's in these types of climates where you have to navigate bad road conditions, you guys, that's like, am I going to get home safe? Like you are so focused for so long. And then it's the saber-toothed tiger and trying to get you home safely. So don't discount that as, you know, I would go get adjusted today if I could get out of the office and go get
go make it to someone's office.
Yeah, I know.
I totally get it.
Exactly.
It was interesting because we don't, you know, in Michigan, we just go and do what needs to be done on any given day that it needs to be done unless we're absolutely trapped. And one of my friends from Colorado joined a group conversation that we had. And she was saying to me last night, she was watching you ladies try to navigate to your offices yesterday. And she's like, you were all saying like, this is what's going on. Like, it's really dicey and spicy out here and there's ice everywhere. And we're going, you know, half the speed limit or whatever. And she's like, you ladies are so brave to even go out in that, which we don't really consider that. When you're raised like this, you just do what needs to be done. But she said, if I had to go out and deal with what you guys were dealing with in the videos that we were making yesterday, she's like, I would be a stress ball wreck. She's like, that would take me completely out of the rest of my day and probably the rest of my week. And I never considered how brave it was. But like yesterday, I made an appointment for my dogs to see a naturopath, which on a dry roads day would have been 20-25 minutes. Yesterday was 45 minutes plus all the oncoming traffic one direction. And then it was even a little bit further to get home. Fortunately, I had the time, and it was like, yeah, I could have canceled that, but life has to go on. So then I just know when Dr. Paula came in, I thought she was long gone because she's usually, you know, early in my shift or not at all. And so when she was here, I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing.
Well, and you're right. We just do what we have to do. And so Dr. Erica had this really important appointment with her dogs. I had to get my hair done, which is why I had to go out. I'm like, also very important.
It is. And so we just go on with our world, and then we don't realize this feeling is stored in our spine and in our tissues. And if we don't take a moment, have a few deep breaths, get adjusted, and probably drink like a glass of water or something, like get the parasympathetics back on board, you know, it can change how you respond and react to your family. And then if you have pain on top of it, like, you know, it's kind of a recipe for disaster. So anyway, it's just,
I think also the misconception is that just because the event is means that the effect is over. Ooh, I got to write that down. That's good. Just because the event is over doesn't mean the effect is over. Okay. Remember that.
Yep.
Ken, write that down for us. and that goes true for anything. So whether it's a deadline, like all of you year-end people who are just scrambling to get books done, and teachers and grades. And I mean, all of that stress, people going through divorce, people going through family trauma, just because the thing is over, the effect lives on in your body, and you still get these metabolic dysfunctions. It causes I don't want to say a collapse, but it causes your nervous system to not function the way it needs to. So it's taking care of all of that. And of course, then if you're piling on party food on top of that, you're just creating more inflammation, more fatigue, and just more dysfunction in your nervous system. And I think if we just go back to the understanding that your nervous system is the first thing that forms in utero. And so we have to take care of it, especially as we get older, while you're young, if you have the opportunity to not derail it, you know, learning these techniques and these lifestyle habits when you're young is only going to give you greater health as you get older. You're going to feel amazing for it.
Yeah, I started a new patient yesterday. He is 17, 6'2", and plays football. And I don't know, a little over 200 pounds. He's a really, really strong kid. And growing up, he had, um, people say, oh, I just got my tonsils and adenoids taken out when I was 2 years old. His mom was sitting with him, and it was like, okay, well, then what did that create? And like the things that happen that far back affect how the gut works, for one. And then if you had rounds and rounds, because in order to get adenoids and tonsils removed, you would have already gone through bouts of antibiotics, which would have destroyed the gut. And then you're growing and you're developing and has never seen a chiropractor, but as a 17-year-old has a lot of pain in his body. And then his sister, 2 years younger, even though she's not painful right now, she already has a juvenile arthritis diagnosis. And I'm like, we got to multiply that by 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And where are you when you're 17 and 15? Where are you when, even in your mid 20s, and like, what kind of meds are you on at that point? And then those are going to follow you for 70 years in your life. And I'm so grateful that they were here. And then the mom was like, do you think the daughter needs to come in too? And I said, absolutely. And mostly just to make sure everything's moving, make sure the information superhighway is connected, and allow her, start to rebuild the gut, and allow her and him, both of them, to live with, honestly, we say this a lot, maximum potential. So what the heck does that mean? It just means as the information superhighway, which is our spine and nervous system, goes down through the center of our body, if it can run like a river rather than have all of these blockages and dams in the way, I guess is really one way. Life is going to be better. The body's going to be healthier. Your immune system is going to be stronger. You're going to have more bandwidth for life. And so I'm like, yeah. And if you have these neurological issues right now, it's like 3 times a week for 8 weeks is really where the magic begins to happen. And the foundation is rebuilt. And then we can organize on top of that. But like, let's not wait. The things that happen in that age is really what affects us, and it'll come up between age 30 and 55.
And I think this is, am I unmuted? Okay. Also, I think there's a background. So your mic is doing something weird, and I think it's the fan on my computer is going.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with that.
I don't have a microphone on mine. I just have like only the computer stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have an additional mic.
Okay. You're not using this guy?
I don't have anything.
Oh, okay. And sometimes that can be the issue too, because of the audio loop. Okay. We'll fix that later on our end. But I think when you're talking about starting young, this is, the young gal that I was working with this morning was the same thing. I was like, you've got to get yourself into yoga. I could see a scoliosis. It's definitely, and her mom's like, oh, everybody told her she doesn't, but that her spine's crooked. I go, it's called a scoliosis. Like, go get x-rays. So, but the whole thing too, when Dr. Eric is talking about the frequency, is I also want people to understand that we cannot adjust away a poor lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So if somebody is saying to you, you need 3 times a week for 8 weeks, and you're like, cool, that's the answer to my prayers, and I'm going to continue to eat like shit, and I'm going to continue to drink all the alcohol I want, and I don't care about my sleep, or I don't know, all the destructive things. Mm-hmm. You're not exercising. Chiropractic doesn't save you from that. It does not save you from that. It is the foundational piece of a lifestyle that can save you from poor health. But you have to be willing to then tap into your other lifestyle habits. And again, especially stress is like the number one thing that affects all of it. It affects sleep. It affects your bandwidth. It affects how you eat, the cravings that you have, the way you relate to people. Are you optimistic or are you depressed? So make sure you are starting to evaluate all of the different things as we come into the holiday season, and then starting the new year with a running start,
Yep.
so that you don't end up in the burnout phase.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's honest. So almost 21 years into practice, it's been a lot of fun lately. I mean, it's always fun, but it's been a lot of fun lately because people are, I don't know, they're like I don't want to say coming around to it, but they're like, oh, that's what you're doing here? Like you're actually doing health here. Oh, like actual health. Yeah. That is exactly what we're doing. And it's chiropractic that people want. They just haven't necessarily realized that that's what they want. And it's been really cool lately to have these conversations. And I'm getting behind on my paperwork just because there's a lot of new patients. And they got lots of great questions, but they're really like, oh, there's that one meme out there that's saying somebody's going to tell you in your 20s or 30s or in your new momhood to get your baby adjusted. You should pay attention to that. You should do that. Somebody's going to tell you to go to a chiropractor in your teens, in your teen years or whatever. You need to follow that suggestion. And it's really shifting everything right now. I'll be curious where we're headed in 2026 with a lot of the big questions about health at infants and what, vaccines in particular, but a lot of the healthcare regimes that are happening in early childhood and all of those being questioned right now. It's a really good place and time to be a chiropractor. It feels like one of the best times to be a chiropractor right now.
And if we flash back to, I don't know, every episode or a couple of episodes, health comes from above, down, inside, out. And so when you're caring for yourself in that way, your body will express health in a way that is priceless.
Yep.
And when you continue to put all the garbage in it and don't take care of it, it is your Ferrari, it is your McLaren, it is this machine that has the capacity to go hard and go far. And we need to challenge this body in a way that takes it to that positive level. So I encourage you guys, just start to look around in your life, all of the different areas that you can improve. Start somewhere, just take that first step. That's all we're asking.
Yesterday, I stepped into the snow barefoot and I took a picture of it just for shock value a lot of times. But it was really interesting, the comments that came back, and like, there's no way I could have done that. And it's not like I'm staying for long. I'm not staying for frostbite. But like you said, you have this incredible vehicle that shouldn't be comfortable all the time, challenging it all the time. We should be having a wide spectrum of experiences, a wide spectrum of feelings all the time. And it doesn't mean you need to go out and do that, but it was really fun to listen to the comments because I'd rather challenge my body and let it adapt and learn and be more flexible and, just be able to move with life a little bit better. So, and they say that aging is truly the chronic seeking of comfort, or something like the continuous and chronic seeking of comfort. So yeah, it's
that's great.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I know, I'm imagining like everybody just like losing their mind over it. It's just snow.
It's just snow.
Cold, frozen water. What?
That's not even me dipping my entire body into the lake.
I know. Yes.
Like,
so, I mean, I stepped out onto my stoop this morning. I didn't step into the snow, but the stoop was cold.
Yeah.
But there's something about stepping out into the cold air that feels pretty amazing, especially if you've been like all bundled in your warm bed and then you get out and it's like, just open it up, you guys. Do something different. Challenge your body. Make it feel stuff, right?
Oh,
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I think we'll sign off until next week. We thank you all for being here. Make sure you are subscribing and sharing. Appreciate everybody, all your comments. So we will see you on the next one.
Peace.